And finally, what a week this was with the midterm elections and all the hopes and dreams. And then, well, we're still waiting to see how it's going to end up. And then suddenly it's Trump versus DeSantis and Trump versus Youngkin and everybody versus Trump. And how about a little perspective for a moment, okay? I know there's a lot of angst out there because the red wave wasn't as big as we were promised. And I know a lot of you want to blame someone. You want to blame the leadership in the House or the leadership in the Senate or the chairman of the RNC or maybe Donald Trump or maybe Rick Scott, or really you want to blame anybody except for, well, me and our favorite lovable team of TV hosts here at Salem News Channel. Don't blame us. We didn't do anything. I know your instinct is to be angry because, hell, you wanted a 40-seat majority in the House. And I know the fact that Republican governors had a clean sweep doesn't assuage that anger. That's right. Republican governors went undefeated. That's huge. But you're angry. And I know that Ron DeSantis winning a stunning supermajority in Florida, which basically removes that state now from any real competition in the upcoming presidential election, that's not enough to make you feel satisfied. But that is also huge. I even suspect that the fact that the three stooges of Democrat politics, Stacey Abrams, Beto O'Rourke, and Charlie Crist, were humiliated beyond any point of recognition to such a diminished level that they probably can never run for political office again. Even that doesn't bring enough joy to offset your anger over the Republicans' performance in congressional races. But let me attempt to offer some positive political analysis. Think of it as a cool glass of water amidst the vast parched desert of angry recriminations and finger-pointing we currently find ourselves living in. The fact is that when all is said and done, the Republicans will have a majority in the House of Representatives. It might be a small majority, but it will be a majority nonetheless. And the fact of the matter is that gavel that comes with the powers of the Speaker of the House, it's the same size gavel, whether you have a 1-seat majority or a 50-seat majority. And whoever ends up being the Speaker of the House for the Republicans starting in January, they're going to have incredibly significant and important power. In fact, I would argue that the most important power this new Republican majority will have will not in any way be hindered by having a slim majority versus having a red tsunami majority. You see, the most important power Republicans in the House are going to have is to just say no. Just say no to Joe Biden. And that doesn't take much of a majority at all. Now, I know you're smart, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this show. So I know you already know this, but maybe hearing me say it, thinking about it, and meditating on it will make you a little less hostile to the fact that Tuesday didn't go as well as you were hoping it would go. You see, even if Republicans had won with the best majority anyone could have hoped for this past Tuesday, as long as Joe Biden is president of the United States, there's not a whole lot Republicans can do. This is the system our founding fathers gave us. You could have a 40-seat majority in the House and a 5-seat majority in the Senate, which, by the way, would have been an absolute blowout this last Tuesday. But if you don't have a president in the White House who's going to sign your bill into law, you literally have nothing. So what is this Republican majority left to do? It's very simple. They can put an end, an immediate halt, nada, no more, stop Joe Biden's destructive legislative agenda that was bringing this country to ruin. Just saying no to Joe Biden is doing something incredible. They can also set the schedule, agenda, and priorities for legislation coming out of the House. Now, it may die in the Senate or at the White House, but at least they can pass bills that would let the American people know what we stand for and what they might actually get passed should they elect a Republican president in 2 years. They also have the all-important control over the committee chairman and the agenda for those committees. That includes as many investigative hearings as they want. Joe Biden's military disaster in Afghanistan can now be investigated. His use of the Justice Department and the FBI for political purposes can now be investigated. The origins of COVID-19, what the federal government knew about it, and what they lied about can now be investigated. They can accomplish all of that with just a 1-seat majority. Now, I know you wanted more. I know you think you deserved more. I know you think you should have gotten more, and I know that the media basically told you were going to get more. And after all, when has the media ever led us astray? But if you look at the reality of our Constitution and the separation of powers, and you realize that as long as that doddering leftist fool is sitting in the Oval Office, he's not going to sign anything that Republicans are going to pass out of the House, then you can tap the brakes a little bit on your anger and realize that a big majority this week would have actually been wasted for the next 2 years. Biden is now going to be stopped by this new Republican House. That's huge, and that's wonderful. And after 2 years of living hell our country has endured, it's more than enough. Be happy about that, at least for a moment. Then tomorrow, get right back to being angry at Republicans, because unless they know you're mad, they're not going to do any of the things I just told you they were going to do. That's it for tonight. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.